Good afternoon, I'm Siobhan Caulfield with Hunter News. The University of Newcastle's plan to host only 5 car parking spaces at its new CBD campus has been facing backlash. Roads and Maritime Services has called the project misleading, stating a mode target rate of 0% cars for both future staff and students is not realistic. Councillor Brad Luke is hoping the university will change its mind on the matter.
Very simply, a building of that size with the number of people who will work there and the number of students attending it will create a great deal more parking requirement than 5. That's the simple fact of life. And the university needs to actually supply parking for its development. No different to any other developer in the city. If there was anyone else building a building like this and putting in 5 parking spaces, we would simply say no.
Former Mayor of the US city of Pittsburgh, Tom Murphy, is in town and will tonight hold a talk on the importance of the University of Newcastle for the Hunters economy. The talk will focus on how major cities can deal with the rapidly changing global economy and highlight the importance of government and university research in a technology-driven era. Murphy believes there is much Newcastle can learn from Pittsburgh, which was a coal and steel city. The Samaritan Christmas Appeal will launch today, with the charity setting up a tree of hope in its Hamilton op shop. The downturn in the mining industry has meant a lot of Hunter residents have been left jobless and are struggling to make ends meet, making the Samaritans' work all the more important. Samaritan's CEO, Czech Shevels, says the appeal aims to assist families in a number of ways.
Well, we have an appeal every Christmas. It's a time when we try to ensure that no family, especially no children, do without. We try to ensure that there's food on the table on Christmas Day for all the families in the Hunter. And the appeal helps us to fund very needed services throughout the year.
A favourite in the Newcastle Ward 3 by-election has been declared, with 22-year-old Declan Clausen being the most strongly supported Labor candidate. The council seat was left vacant after Natalie Nelms was promoted to the position of Lord Mayor over the weekend. Her campaign was run by Mr Clausen, an environmental engineering student at the University of Newcastle. The by-election is expected to be held in February next year, and only residents of Ward 3 will be required to vote. 7 donated pianos are being placed around Newcastle streets from today. The pianos are being placed at Nobby's Lighthouse, the Civic Theatre and the TAFE campus on Hunter Street and will be moved to different locations throughout the summer. Spokeswoman for the Newcastle Now, Sasha Palic, says the idea was a simple way to bring some life into the city.
Dean Winters is one of our great mainstays in the creative community in Newcastle, and he and his son Sebastian have had an idea for some years now that wouldn't it be fantastic to collect old, unloved or sometimes derelict pianos and bring them back to life with a bit of love and care, and then offer those pianos around the streets of Newcastle.
Now with sport, Jacob Dunstan.
Head Jets coach Phil Stubbins insists he's still up for the challenge following his team's disappointing 4-0 loss to Brisbane Roar. He says a more conservative approach may be needed, with the 9th place squad conceding 14 goals so far this season. They face the Western Sydney Wanderers at Pertec Stadium this weekend. Trials for the Waratah Basketball League season are underway, with incoming Newcastle Hunters coach Larry Davidson impressed with the talent on the show. The squad will be trimmed after a second open trial at Broadmeadow next Sunday, with the final team expected to be announced before the end of the month. And 20-year-old Norse product Matthew Dawson is set to vie for a position in the 2015 Kookaburras hockey squad after being named in the 18-man Champions Trophy team to compete in India next month. That's sport. I'm Jacob Dunstan.
2NURFM News Time is coming up to 12:10.